All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Siddharth, and thanks for the good introduction. Today, we're going to talk to you about the trends in GCC workplaces. So space is the body language of an organization, and especially with the advent of AI, and there's a lot of tasks that are automated, here is an opportunity for us to humanize workspace. So since 2020, work's completely changed. There was a period when employees were working from home, and if you look at a lot of the employees, they're working right in front of them was a pile of unwashed clothes, kids, pets, and they were getting work done. They were able to control the stimuli and still get the best quality of work done. And the period ranging from 2021 to 2024, the unified communication industry brought in brilliant technology that helped us collaborate, track workflow, and connect with people. So Haworth's research on AI and its impact on worker workflow points out that almost 60 to 70% of the activities that we do today in our work by the number of time that we use will all get automated, and there is an opportunity for us to humanize workplace. Let's get some priority to human connections, well-being, and adaptability. So the research around sensorial design is interesting. So it's about creating radical empathy. It's about creating cognitive and emotional wellness in office spaces. Our focus in research white paper points out that 3 in 10 employees feel that acoustic interferes with their ability to focus and get work done. 70% of the employees frequently lose their connections, and almost 50% of the employees say that they would be far more productive in an environment where the noise levels are controlled. And that leads us to think, can we create a sanctuary by design in a workplace, allowing people to focus, concentrate, and get best work done? Also, the digital behaviors post-2020, and this is just not about the pandemic, it's just not about the work from home, it's about how technology and how connection devices have changed. It seemed to impact everything from how we process verbal information to attention to working memory and self-regulation. And if you're a parent, we are all worried about it, but we are also GCC leaders and also vertical leaders. I'm sure all of us are worried about it. The Bangalore airport is a brilliant example of how sensory design controls experiences of people walking into an airport, where most of them are completely in anxiety and stress about, are they getting on time, are they going to get through the immigration well. So it's a great example that I want to point out. And the next part is about creating equal experiences for people with disabilities. While today we're talking about people with disabilities in wheelchair and in clutches, but also it's about addressing the invisible disabilities, or the one that you're not seeing and no one's addressing to you. It ranges from neurological defects to claustrophobia, and partial blindness is another one. And NTV is a great example of how they've used partial blindness in terms of way navigation and how people address in workstations. And this is something that we want to create, and I also want to call out great credits to the Government of India on implementing the RPWD Act, which addresses not just the physical space, but also the digital accessibility, HR practices, and also sensory and cognitive accessibilities. And as we go through how we work, technology is an important part of how we work, and how innovation in the unified communication industry has brought in so many different devices into workplace and meeting rooms. There's a new concept called shy technology, which is how do you get technology to enhance user experience, but do not overpower the experience of an employee in a meeting room. How many times do we walk into a meeting room and in 10 seconds get on to work? We're always struggling with one touch panel on the screen, one on the table, one on the screen, and then we always call out an IT employee to come and help us. And this is shy technology. We really need to embrace it. And there are organizations in the unified communication industry like Microsoft and Cisco that do a fantastic job around it. So as we get all of that done, it's finally coming to physical space. It's about what kind of work are we doing? Where are we doing this? It's about choice of space to do the best work for our employees. At Haworth, what we do is we look at the spaces, and over the years we have created several different designations to those spaces. And in the last 5 years, we said work gets done in 3 modes: individual work, which is workstations, focus, virtual collaboration; in group and teams, again, shielded, unshielded, open rooms, open spaces, social and restorative spaces. While we know what is pantries and cafes and coffee shops in office, but the need for restorative spaces in office is extremely important. And you would see the data of our India Workplace Survey. We did a global workplace survey in 25, and we took down the data for India specifically, and you'd see how the graph changes before 2020 now, and the future intentions is what the feedback that we get from most GCC leaders and technology companies. Now, in individual workstations, while you see a reduction in the number of seats, but it's largely not individual seats. These are workstations. But people need focus areas or refuge spaces to do their best work. And collaborative spaces, I think we all understand why it's increasing, but more importantly is the restorative spaces, which has seen an increase in data as well. So at Haworth, we believe workplace is an organic element. It has to evolve with how your cultural changes, your business needs, and most GCCs, when you hire for your first time, you have 200 people, but you have aspirations to go to 400, 600, 800. And a lot of the GCCs, like when we started working with Target many years back, they were a small entity. Today, they probably have more than 10,000 people. So the first part of what we talk about, listen, interpret, and visualize, is again a strategy. We use frameworks, but more important to that is about how we assess space after a space is built. How do we go through the process of having stakeholder engagement surveys and data analytics to ensure that the workspace evolves with the needs of an organization? A few insights that we've got within the global survey and the India survey that we did. On an average floor plate of 300 seats, the need for a single seater pod, which before 2020 was more a phone booth, today is about distributed working. How do employees connect into a pod, connect to another Scrum Master or a colleague back in the US and run work? And they do not want to go into a meeting space, cannot have that meeting in their workstations. And also in terms of how teams connect together. And when we deep dive into this data, it also points out organizations that are service-oriented, where there are distributed also within India. They have a different data, but this is an average data that comes out from India's rising GCC data. Also in terms of employee well-being, it's interesting where we always spoke about height adjustable tables as the forefront of employee wellness. A lot of the global technology companies who prioritize well-being are almost on 100% height adjustable table. But also the most interesting data is about the low-cost capability centers. They've almost gone to 50% of the spaces is height adjustable tables, and 50% is fixed, that they're able to provide choice to employees. And also an adaptable architecture, because a lot of the customers that we work with would take up a floor plate in, let's say, Manyata, would build 200 seats, then would become another 1,000 seats in another year. We have to give them flexible architectural elements that they can take with them, rather than elements that are fixed that is forcing them to demolish the space. We spoke about quite a bit of the insights, but also for us to talk about who is Haworth. We are a 78-year-old company. We've been in India since for the last 28 years. We entered into India when Microsoft said, hey, we're going to set up an office space in India. Would you like to come in and set it up for us? That's when we started. In the last 28 years in India, we've delivered 650,000 science-based high-performance chairs. These are clients who put well-being at the forefront of everything that they need. And in 2011, we did a workplace survey that created a flexible and scalable benching platform. Today is the underpinning of almost every benching platform in the world. And we also focused on bringing personal refuge and focus spaces. These are some of the GCC companies that we work for, but we would also be happy to talk about clients who don't have an NDA with us, who are allowing us to share information in terms of workplace strategy. As a company, we are a $2.6 billion company. We are family owned. We say we are multicultural. We don't say we are multinational. You'd also see 700 patents for a furniture company. This is about workplace research. This is about employee well-being. It's about business results. Haworth is the founding brand of the Haworth Group. We operate in two spaces, commercial and lifestyle. But these are all the spaces that we work in. We are into commercial office interiors. If you own a Ferrari, your interior is done by us. If you're flying Singapore Airlines first class seats, those are design appointed and scaled by Haworth again. And Now, we speak about GCCs quite a bit. I also want to point out that we have a GCC in India. It's in Chennai. It's 30,000 square feet, 150 odd people working here. We would love to host you there to show you the different platforms that we have used. How did we use the culture model, the competing values framework culture model? How did we use the business fingerprint where the leaders say what they want their organization to be? And how did we build the space? Feel free to join us. We're happy to share our learnings. We're happy to learn from you. Thank you.